The new season is upon us, and bolstering your team ahead of commencement is the best decision to make right now. Last season, we saw teams struggle to find a foothold and actually compete for the championship against Red Bull. For some teams, the blame for their performance may be due to their infrastructure, however, other teams had to deal with manpower. By this, we mean the right drivers, engineers, and team principals expected to take them to the top. So it's not a huge surprise to see the team reshuffling their squad ahead of the next season and bringing in the right firepower. Some teams have had a total overhaul of their drivers, while others have had to bring in more experienced team members. Not everyone can do this due to the new rules, which set a budget cap for some teams. However, one team that isn't holding back in bringing in the firepower is Aston Martin, as they have employed the services of an experienced driver, Fernando Alonso. Hello everyone, welcome to our YouTube channel where we bring you the hottest and most exclusive content in the world of sports racing. In today's episode, we'll be looking at Aston Martin's recruitment of Fernando Alonso and what their team boss has to say about it. So before we get into all the juicy exposure, kindly subscribe to our channel and turn on post notifications to get access to our content right as it drops. Depending on your stance, when the news that Sebastian Vettel would be retiring this season, you might have taken it with joy or reminiscence. However, this is just an emotional expression, and it doesn't have any effect on on-field results or performance, so the gig must go on. This is what Aston Martin did when the news was made public, as they got into talks with Fernando Alonso on a possible comeback. Well, all the boring negotiation stuff has been behind closed doors, and we know now that the Spanish driver will be joining Aston Martin. This news has not been more pleasing to anyone than Aston Martin team boss Mike Krack, who had nothing but excitement to share when the news broke. Now, we know the reason why he's excited, but do you think that would translate to an on-track result and help in their bid to fight for the championship? When we talk of experience, very few have as much as Fernando Alonso, currently in Formula 1. The Spaniard, who has won 2 world championships, is one of the top drivers available and was the best bet to replace Vettel. However, since the early victory in 2005 and 6, where he won the championships, he hasn't been able to lift another since. Although that doesn't take away his credit at winning the race at the Grand Prix, it just means that the competition got stiffer. This is just our deduction, but the Aston Martin boss has high hopes for his new driver and doesn't feel like his little stint without winning a championship will take away any of his proficiency. In a recent interview with Mike Krack, he was all praise for Fernando Alonso, and he only had good things to say about him. He believes that Alonso's winless streak wouldn't matter, and it's quite unfair for him to be judged based on that factor alone. He said, "There's more than that. If you look at the cars he has driven, they are not winning cars in the previous years, so I think it's unfair to judge on victories and podiums alone." These words might be the boost that Alonso needs, but considering what Krack said, then he may be right. Alonso has been in teams where he had to struggle, and that is quite understandable for the Aston Martin boss to have mentioned. Krack also went on to talk about how the teams he has been in didn't slow him down on a personal level, as he was always the better driver. He, however, believes that Alonso joining Aston Martin would be the edge the driver needs. We've talked about his prowess and his fall from glory, and this is enough to make anyone wonder why Aston Martin made the decision. However, from what the team boss said, we could see that what they went for was his reliability. The boss mentioned that Alonso is someone that has the commitment to win, and together they can make that happen. He quips that this is a key factor in winning, and when you want to win as a team, then everyone must have the same mindset. Before we go on, we'd like to confirm and ask if you have subscribed to our channel. If you haven't, then what are you waiting for? Also, turn on post notifications so you can get all of our content as it drops. As we said earlier, the retirement announcement of Sebastian Vettel required Aston Martin to find a replacement, and that was exactly what they did. Without wasting time, they had done their research and made their intentions known about picking up the Spanish driver. Within days, the deal was finalized as preparations needed to begin in readiness for the coming season. In the interview, Krack said, "As a team, you have to do your homework, and we were always with Sebastian as plan A. That was clear from the beginning." He also mentioned the conversation of finding a possible replacement wasn't one they hid from Sebastian at all, as continuity was important. He said they told Sebastian that, "If you decide not to continue, we also have to talk to other drivers." So the decision was one that had already been going on even before Sebastian Vettel's retirement announcement. Krack also dispelled rumours that Aston Martin had ended the contract that they had with Sebastian Vettel, as he said they were lies. He confirmed by saying, "Sebastian made the conscious decision to stop, and he informed us on the Wednesday before Budapest, and we then had to really go flat out to find a replacement." Alonso had been on teams where the team principal had to leave, and this occurred several times. So what is the possibility that the same wouldn't happen with Krack? This is the question that was asked of the Aston Martin boss, which he replied with enough positivity to keep us going. He said, "I think we have to have a fresh approach. I'm maybe different from other team principals, and he's maybe a driver that's different. I would be surprised if we have problems." Finally, this is where we also have some concerns. We mean the principal leaving the team issue that had happened to Alonso several times before. We hope both individuals can build a respectable relationship that would help both of them achieve their goals. So guys, we've come to the end of today's episode, and we hoped you enjoyed every bit. If you did, we would love to hear your opinions, and you can share them in the comment section below. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and enjoy more amazing content. Have a great one, and see you soon.